Okay, continuing with our video lessons, today we're going to continue working with radical equations. Okay, remember that radical means that we have a square root included and that we need to find, using any other type of operation, to find the value for x. Okay, so let's start working with number one. Okay, number one says square root of x plus 3 equals to 7. Okay, so one operation can we use, okay, to eliminate a square root? Remember that when we were working with addition and subtraction, those are opposite equations. So when we have a equation with addition, we eliminate with subtraction. Same thing with the other two. If we have a equation with a multiplication, we eliminate with division. Okay, so we need to find the opposite operation so that we can solve for x. Okay, so the opposite operation of a square root is elevating to the square. Okay, when we elevate to the square, that means that we put a square to a certain term so that we can eliminate. Okay, and remember, in an equation, whatever I do on one side, I have to do it on the other. Okay, the equation needs to have balance. Okay, so if I take the square root of x plus 3 and I elevate it to the square, that means that I need to do the same thing on the other side. 7 to the square. Okay, this one gets eliminated. Okay, and we have x plus 3 equals to 49. Okay, and then we just solve. 49 minus 3, and that is 46. Okay, and that's how we have our answer. Okay, here we are just elevating this term to the square so that we can solve for x. Okay, let's do the next one. Number 2. Same thing. We have square root of x plus 2 minus 12 equals 7. Okay, so the term that we're going to elevate to the square is this one. Okay, so let's move this one to the other side so that we can have similar terms with similar terms. Okay, so x plus 2 stays here. Okay, and then we have 7. This one is negative. We move it to the other side. Positive. Okay, so we have x plus 2 square root is equal to 19. How do we eliminate the square root? We eliminate by elevating to the square. And remember, we have to do it on both sides. Okay, so x plus 2. Okay, because this one is eliminated. And then we have 19 to this. Is that 19 elevated to the square? Okay, we have that it's 361. Okay, so we have 361, and then x equals 361 minus 2. This one moves to the other side. So we have 359. Okay, and there we have our answer. Okay, we're just elevating to the square, both sides. This is eliminated. Then this one moves to the other side as negative. So 359. Okay, let's do number 3. Number 3 looks a little bit more complicated, but it's exactly the same thing. Okay, so number 3 says square root of 4x squared minus 15. Okay, the square root stops here. Minus 2x equals to minus 1. Okay, so same thing. Okay, we put similar terms together. Okay, like this 2. This one, okay, is not a similar term because this one is inside a radical. Okay, it's inside a square root. So that negative 2x, we have to move it to the other side. So negative moves to the other side. Positive. Okay, now we elevate to the square both sides. This one to the square, this one to the square. Okay, we know that this one is eliminated, so we only have 4x squared minus 15 on this side. Okay, but on this side we have two terms, so we have to elevate this one, okay, to the square. 2x to the square, 4x squared. Okay, 2 times 2, 4 times negative 1, minus 4x. And minus 1 to the square plus 1. Okay, so these two terms we already know that we can eliminate, okay, because they have the same symbol, okay, and they have the same variable, okay, because this one, if I move this 4x squared to the other side, it's going to be negative, and 4x squared minus 4x squared, it's already 0. So let's simplify. Okay, if we know that they have the same symbol, same number, same variable, and same power, we can eliminate. Okay, and then we only have minus 15 is equal to minus 4x plus 1. Okay, we move this one to the other side, so we have a positive x. This one stays here, plus 1, and this one moves to the other side, positive. Okay, so we have 4x equals to 16. Okay, we divide by 4, we divide by 4, and then we have x equals to 4. Okay, what did we do? Remember, first we elevate to the square. Okay, we elevate to the square here. Okay, so that we can eliminate. This one needs to move to the square too. This one here. Okay. Here we just keep 4x squared minus 15, and this one is the product of this one times the same itself. Okay. And then we just simplify. These two get eliminated because they have the same symbol, the same number, same variable, same power. Okay, then we have minus 15 on this side. Okay, and then we have negative 4x plus 1. Then we move this one here, this one here, this one stays the same, and then we just start to simplify until we have the answer. Okay, let's do number 4. Number 4 says 5 minus square root, 5 minus square root of 3x plus 1 is equal to 0. Okay, so this term, okay, we're going to elevate to the square. Okay, so this term goes to the other side. Okay, so it's negative. So this one stays negative, plus 1, and this one moves to the other side as negative 5. Okay, now we elevate both to the square. 3x plus 1 to the square. The negative is going to be eliminated. Same thing here. Negative is going to be eliminated. Okay, and this one too. Okay, so we will have 3x plus 1 equals to 25. Okay, then we just solve. Okay, 25 minus 1. Then we have 3x equals 24. We divide by 3 on both sides, and then we have that x is equal to 8. And there we have our answer. Okay, so what did we do? The 5 moves to the other side, negative. This one stays negative, but when we elevate to the square, the negative gets changed to a positive. Then the square root is eliminated with the square power. We elevate to the square on the other side. We have positive 25, and then we just solve as a normal equation. Okay, let's do the next one. Now this one will take a little bit more space, so I'm going to move it to another page. Okay, number 5. Okay, number 5 says square root of x plus square root of x plus 5, okay, is equal to 10 square root of x. Okay, so what do we need to remember here? Okay, we saw it in the live class. Okay, what you need to remember is least common denominator. Okay, because in this case, the denominator is 1, the denominator is 1. So what is the least common denominator for all of these terms? Is going to be square root of x. Okay, because square root of x can divide this one, can divide this one, and can divide this one. Okay, so that means that we're going to multiply, okay, each term by square root of x. Okay, So square root of x here, okay, plus square root of x plus 5 over 1, and then equals to 10 over square root of x times square root of x. Okay, what happens on this side first? Okay, because it's easier. These two get eliminated, and on this side we're only going to have 10. Now what happens here? Square root of x times square root of x is going to give me square root of x to the square. Okay, and this one is going to give me the multiplication. Square root of x times square root of x plus 5. Okay, so this one we already know that gets eliminated. Okay, so we have x plus this terms. Okay, now let's put them in parentheses so that we can solve. Okay, remember that this is the same as having a multiplication of x times x plus 5. Okay, this is like if we had only x times x plus 5. Okay, we would have to use the distributive property. X times x, x squared. X times 5 plus 5x. Okay, same thing here. Okay, so we bring it here and we know that it's going to be x squared plus 5x. And this is equal to 10. Okay, now what do we do here? Okay, since we need to eliminate that square root, we're going to move the x to the other side. Okay, and when we move the x to the other side, this is going to stay like this. X squared plus 5x is equal to 10 minus x. Okay, because this x is positive, moves to the other side, negative. Now we elevate to the square. Okay, this one is eliminated, so we have x squared plus 5x on this side. Okay, and then we have 10 minus x to the square. Okay, x to the square, even if it's negative, x squared. 2 times 1, 2 times negative 1, sorry, is negative 2 times 10, negative 20x, and then 10 to the square plus 100. Okay, now we already know that this one gets eliminated with this one. They have the same number, same symbol, same variable, same power. Okay, so they are eliminated. And then we just solve. 5x is equal to negative 20x plus 100. Okay, this one moves to the other side. So we have 5x plus 20x equals to 100. 25x equals to 100. Okay, divided by 25, divided by 25, x is equal to 4. Okay, so how did we get to this answer? First thing we need to do is find the least common denominator. In this case, this is denominator 1, this is the other denominator, this is the other denominator. So that means that we can use this one as common denominator. Okay, so that means that we're going to multiply, okay, the same term on both sides so that we can eliminate here. We only have 10. And this one multiplied by this one, x to the square inside a square root. But this one gets eliminated and it leaves an x. And then it's going to be square root of x times square root of x plus 5. Okay. When we have these terms, we multiply the inside terms and we leave it inside the square root. Okay, so that's why we have x squared plus 5x. Okay, then we move the x to the other side so that we have 10 minus x, and then we elevate to the square on both sides, okay, so that we can eliminate the square root. Then we simplify on this side and we get x squared minus 20x plus 100. Okay, the x squares get eliminated because if I move this x squared to this side, x squared minus x squared is already 0. So let's skip that part. And we only have 5x minus 20x plus 100. Okay, then 5x plus 20x equals to 100. Then we just simplify to get to x plus 4. X equals 4. Okay, let's do the last one. The last one is a little bit more complicated. That's why we want to do it. Okay, so let me copy it. Okay, so number 6. Okay, I'm going to try to use one page so that we don't have separate. X plus 4 over x minus 2, okay, here, is equal to x plus 11 over x minus 1. Okay, so here we have two denominators. Okay, usually when we have two denominators that are different, okay, the least common denominator is going to be the multiplication of both. Okay, so here we can say that the least common denominator of this exercise is going to be x minus 2, x minus 1. Okay, but multiply. Okay, like this. Okay, you'll see what we do now. Okay, so that means that we need to multiply this on both terms so that we can start to simplify. Okay. Okay. So let's bring it here. X plus 4, x minus 2. Okay. And then we multiply times the least common denominator. Okay, which is going to be x minus 2, x minus 1. Okay, and then we multiply the same thing on the other side. Okay, x plus 11, x minus 1 times square root of x minus 2 square root of x minus 1. Okay, now what are we doing here? Okay, we're multiplying times the least common denominator so that we can eliminate the denominators. Okay, because this one gets eliminated with this one. Okay, and on this side, this one gets eliminated with this one. Okay, so that only leaves us with the top terms. X plus 4 times square root of x minus 1. Okay, and that is equal to square root of x plus 11 times square root of x minus 2. Okay, what do we do now? We start to simplify. X times x, and remember, all of this is also always inside the square root. So x times x, x squared. X times minus 1, minus x. Plus 4 times x, plus 4x. And 4 times minus 1, minus 4. And this is all inside the square root. Same thing on the other side. Okay? X times x, x squared. Okay? X times minus 2, minus 2x. 11 times x, plus 11x. And 11 times minus 2, minus 22. Okay? So we have square root of x squared minus x plus 4x plus 3x minus 4. And on this side, we have x squared minus 2x plus 11x, 9x, right? So plus 9x minus 22. Okay? And how do we eliminate the square root? We elevate to the square, meaning both sides to the square. So we eliminate the square root, and we only have, I'm going to put it here, x squared plus 3x minus 4 is equal to, oh wait, it's not going to fit. Let me put it here. So we have x squared plus 3x minus 4, which comes from here, here, is equal to this. X squared plus 9x minus 22. Okay, we already know that this ones get eliminated. They have the same number, same variable, same power. Okay, and then we just solve. 3x minus 4 is equal to 9x minus 22. Okay, and then we solve. Okay, this one moves to the other side. It's going to be 6x and minus 4 plus 22. This one. We're going to move the 22 here. So minus 4 plus 22, 18. Okay, and then we just solve. Divide by 6 on both sides. And x is equal to 3. Okay, and there we have our answer. Okay, so what is the key to these two exercises, number 5 and number 6? The least common denominator. Least common denominator here was square root of x minus 2 times x minus 1 square root. Okay, and we apply it here. Okay, and we multiply. Okay, so that we can eliminate the denominators. And then we just multiply the top terms. Okay, then we just start to simplify. Okay, we elevate to the second power. Okay, so that we can eliminate the square roots, and then we just solve for x. Okay, perfect. Okay, so remember to check the link under this video. You'll find some extra exercises so you can continue practicing. Okay, if you have any questions, please let me know.